Peace and blessings. Blessings and peace. Hi. My name doesn't matter. Hold up. Yeah, my name doesn't matter. Because I'm a son of the sun, you know? Um, I'm going to be coming to you guys pretty often, streaming things and whatnot, talking about things and whatnot, uh, true versing certain themes and situations. Might have some guests. I might not. Um, but yeah, my goal with these streams is gonna be to make y'all think, you know, to expand consciousness and whatnot. Give me a second. Making friends, shake hands and kiss babies. You know, that's another thing. Hmm. That leads me to the theme that I kind of want to unpack with this here reasoning is like how. Okay, so I was reasoning with my empress the other day, and I'll probably have her on here too, so we can unpack this. Um, but I was on a certain elevation, if you will, navigating that, and I'm looking at the plants. We have all these plants all around us, right? But the gag is that these plants we put oftentimes for either utilitarian purposes or um, aesthetic purposes. We just think they're pretty, um, or whatever. But we chop and screw the earth so much, it's kind of difficult to know what it looked like before we did. Like I wonder, because all the mycelium and the root networks that exist underneath the visible earth connect, and they do communicate. Um, so, like this unhealthy plant right here, there's a rose bush that's not doing well. Um, is communicating with the healthy trees that are across the street, that have been doing their thing. And I might have to cut this a bit short because it's gonna rain. Um, and I want to keep this outside. But um, humans interact the way that we do, and we have our conflicts, our disagreements, our points of contention. Um, but I'm curious as to what goes on in plant commerce, or not plant commerce, plant. Uh, what kind of exchanges, what sort of communication, what sort of conversation, trueversation, whatever plants have, you know, what do they do? What is their lives like? What are their lives like? How do they communicate? And again, I know it's via that root network, but what do they like? What do they talk about? Um, do they miss where they were at first, as all plants are derived from certain plants, whether we GMO them or not? Um, like pets, for instance, are mammals. A lot of them are just animals in general, so they feel certain astrological pushes and pulls. Um, so as we feel transits, as we feel retrogrades and whatnot, they do too. But I want to know about the plants. Ha, rain. I want to know about the plants, you know, um, and if we ever consider that when we litter and pour out sodas and beers and whatever in the grass because we don't want it, because we're done with it, whatever. a little, a little 250, 250 cc. Yeah, man, it's interesting stuff to me because as you'll come to find, like I'm very Capricorn, um, son of the sun, yes, but I have a lot of Saturnian ways about me, you know. Um, I take pride in moving slow, and I feel that in that slowness, I often end up thinking about all the things that we're told to stop and smell the roses over, like the grass, like the shrubs and the trees, and how they are actually doing. Um, Even down to why the rain falls the way that it does. You know, I'm sure you've all seen. I'm gonna wait. Mother Earth had something to say clearly. Um, I'll probably decipher that or try to in post. Um, yeah, the slanted rains that come like this or like that versus the straight down rains. What do those mean for the state of the world and why? Um, the state of the planet. These are things that interest me and make me worry, you know? And I mean, going back to what I was talking about with my Empress, like that conversation went a bit further, and it sort of encompassed humans and our brand of chaos, and that being necessary for a certain like divine balance that's maintained and attained by us. You know, kill, destroy, create. I'm sorry, create, destroy, create, destroy. Um, but that doesn't necessarily sit the best with me because regardless of regardless of what your belief is creation wise, um, we weren't made perfect. You know, we were made in some things image, some bodies image, but we're not all there, you know. And like if you're to go down the stereotypical Christians dogma pathway, uh we ate the wrong fruit from the wrong tree. We ate the right fruit from the wrong tree. And then we became self-conscious and knowledgeable of ourselves and all this other stuff. And now we're fighting wars and over sexualizing women and abusing women and abusing men and abusing each other and abusing animals and abusing plants and abusing everything. And like reinventing the wheel to find more ways to capitalize off of that via whatever, you know? Um, and I don't agree with that at all, because again, it comes from the basis. It assumes that we are inherently. It, it assumes that we're inherently good, you know, and I don't think that we're inherently bad, but I also don't think that we've at this point in Homo sapien, Homo erectus, whatever we're called now, scientifically speaking. At this point in our journey, I don't know if we're, I think we're too far along in the human journey to be inherently good. I think that we have a lot of learned traits that we've been brought into, been taught into, that have been passed down generationally, which is what I mean when I say evolved with, certain things that we evolved with that keep us from being inherently good, you know, keep us from being conscious about reassessing and modifying our inherent goodness in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, yeah. And I'm a bit distracted, a little distracted, sorry, um, because of this rain. So I'm gonna probably clip this here because I don't want to get like too off track, too off base. Again, these are not always just gonna be me talking. I might be making stuff. I might be doing things, um, hanging out with a friend. Who knows? But gaming. Sometimes I game, but I ain't trying to be another gaming Twitch person. Um, yeah. Let me see if I have a chat. No, no chats. Ah, that's funny. Um, I saw this 20 questions thing, so I guess I'm gonna run through it. What's your favorite game? Uh, hmm, these are all gonna be gaming questions. Um, all right. So, what's your favorite game? I guess Fortnite, Rocket League. I'm gonna be streaming Fortnite, not Fortnite. Don't know what Fortnite is. Fortnite and Rocket League. Uh, don't have any favorite streamers. Prospering is dope, but Thieves is dope, I guess. But you know, other than that, I don't really have favorite streamers. I'm my favorite streamer right now. Killick, yeah, Killick, he dope too. Um, what do you like most about Twitch? Streaming. What's been the best moment you've ever experienced? Man, best streaming moment. Honestly, right now, you know, there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of setup, a lot of planning, a lot of overthinking, a lot of like right resource, wrong time kind of situations. And I'm a person that is okay with like just going for it and working on the setup in the process. I learn best that way. I work best that way, which is why like I'm not always going to be streaming outside. I'm not always going to be um kind of just top of the dome with it. Um I will be going into the Bible a good bit, but I'm in no way a Christian. If you want to know about that, I am a Rastafari. Uh, I'm not a Rasta that believes in the Bible, nor am I a Rasta that say bun out the Bible, because I think Christianity is. I know Christianity, the way that we see it, the way that we have access to it in this English centered way. With the translations that are out now, is it's not the full story. You can go buy books from Books a Million that were in the Bible at one point that were taken out along the way by the church in Italy. Them over there, Roman Catholics, them that used it to conquer. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Uh, one book I read, the Book of Enoch. That's your homework. Go find it and read it. It will redefine a whole bunch of what you see in that book of the Bible, Old Testament. It will redefine the Old Testament at least. That taught me literally that, along with all the conversation around it, um, showed me that we literally don't know what we're talking about. There's no way to know definitively what you're talking about in relation to Christianity in this day and age. So it's something that needs to be thoroughly unpacked and reassessed and brought back to its original state so that more people can know what they're paying their tithes for, what they're who they're paying their tithes to. You know, I watch a lot of things on cults because I like understanding how people get their minds taken away from them, and what lie they were sold and they bought into in order to make that happen. And I strongly believe that Christianity is the biggest cult, because it's the biggest cult that doesn't get the rap of a cult, because they get to go around talking about some, yeah, Don't say, oh my God. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. Don't say Jesus' name in vain. I grew up hearing that. I went to a Catholic school when I was a jit. And just the other day, like I've been telling Empress, don't, don't say, oh my God. Don't say, oh my God. Rasta Femi Bond, right? And I'm talking about don't say, oh my God. And the other day, I'm getting into this metal work. That's another thing. I really get busy. I really, really get busy. This is one of them rings that I made, but I digress. The other day I was like, damn, pounding out some copper, twisting it, pounding it out, doing my thing, and I'm like, damn. In my mind, I'm like, damn. I'm feeling like Hephaestus right now. Like I'm feeling that. Excuse me. I'm in there just hammering shit, going in, doing what I do, but I didn't want to accept that because as a person with knowledge of self, I have to know that knowledge of self comes from knowing where I came from. And as how certain people would be more in the realm of correctness, in the scope of correctness, by claiming Greek gods, Roman gods, because dumb ancestors look as how they look now. I think I'm more in the scope of correctness. Until proven otherwise, very pure. Got milk trucks. Milks come out of cows, not trucks. Nobody asking about that. Anyway, um, yeah, I think I'm more in the scope of correctness to say my roots are Yoruba, you know, and so I did my Googles, did my research, said who is it that is the Yoruba god of Yoruba deity of metalwork. And I think I found Ogun. Yeah, Ogun is the guy that is in charge of those things. And again, I have to do more research on that. Um, but Black people, African people, Caribbean people, do your research. Please do your research on those things and reprogram your mind. There was a time when, again, as a kid, I was so interested in the Greek gods because they taught that shit. They literally teach it in school. The Greek epics, Odysseus, Icarus flying too close to the sun. They teach all of that, but they would never teach us about Orishas. They'll never teach us about any of the other great ancient civilizations that came before anything that you could just find in the library now. Because it's all burnt down, it's all buried, it's all chopped and screwed and misconstrued. I know that I'm pretty valid myself, my reasoning for saying that I'm of Yoruba descent is because my grandmother, firstly, I'm like second generation Trinidadian, um, and my grandmother was of the like Shango Baptist, Shaker Baptist faith, and so that was her tradition, that was her culture, that was her life, that was her livelihood. Um, she was a Shango healer. Literally, I might not even be saying Shango right, but I mean, I wish I was able to talk to her about these things. But she passed like I want to say a month, 2 months into me being born, me being alive as a person, which is crazy to me. because sometimes I feel like her abilities and her spirit for healing was transferred into me. But anyway, uh, yeah, y'all, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna call this here because I really, yeah, there's some more that I want to get into, but we got time. We got time. We got time. We got time. Because one thing about me is I'm healthy. I ain't going nowhere. If anything happened to me, I done got sabotaged, or somebody put something in my food or something. But I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm gonna be here for a long time as myself, by myself, with some co-hosts, without some co-hosts. But every Monday, I want to give y'all something to look forward to. You know, um, and I mean, as the community grows, you feel me? We gon' hold up. Let me see. Why is this locked on my chat thing? Yeah, as the community grows, you dig, we gonna have more conversations and delineations and not delineations. I rap, so I like putting words together. But yeah, we gonna talk. We gonna build. Um, get this health, get this wealth, and control our minds. There's so many things out here that are put there specifically to control your mind. But what are we taught about controlling our minds? How are we taught to control our minds? You have a craving for something, but it's not what you should be having. You should be having something else. Do you go for it, or do you not go for it? And if you don't go for it, what is the process through which you take to complete that dialogue in a way that suffices to your mind? You know, how do you make it sufficient to your mind to not give yourself what you want? Because you don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it. Um, what we need is closer to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What we need is nutrients. We don't need a fucking. We don't need like a steak. We don't need no double cheeseburger. You don't need none of that. And I mean that's relative to some people. You know what I'm saying? Um, I am privileged to not necessarily need all of the niceties that modern Western society has for me. You know. Um, all right, last thing, and I'm gonna clip it. So I'm on this app Tandem, right? And which, if you're here from Tandem, what's good? Peace, peace. Um, yeah, I'm on Tandem, and I'm trying to learn. I'm learning. I'm in the process of learning Swahili, Amharic, French, and maybe Japanese if I can find some people. But like the first three, excuse me, the first three specifically. Um, and when you put that you speak English as your native language, and English being an establishment language, Mm-hmm. Rinsed out the stream. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, English being an establishment language, in that countries are established uh, with the ideal or the knowledge that they should probably enforce English because English speakers will help stimulate their economy. Simple and plain. Um, Mad people just been messaging me, reaching out. I got people talking to me from places in the world I didn't know existed. Um, and this person, not gonna say no names, not gonna say no names. This is not a dig at all at the person. This is a dig at Western society. Western society. Okay. So, this person says, plane fly over. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm currently working on my bachelor's thesis, which is on the role of culture in product standardization and adaptation in the fast food industry, with particular focus on McDonald's. McDicks. That's what I call them. Because they some dicks over there. If you're somebody who visits McDonald's, I believe your input could be incredibly valuable to my research. I'm particularly interested in comparing Indian and US cultures, and in order to do this, I would like to get as many participants as possible to ensure the reliability of my survey. If you can spare about 10 minutes, it would mean a lot to me. Your input would be of great importance to my research. Here's a link to my survey. Okay. So I responded, hey, peace. I would help, but I haven't eaten there in like 5 years. And when I did eat there, it was a damn fish fillet. I was on my way out. I'm a vegetarian now. I was a pescatarian, a broke pescatarian then. You feel me? Now my standards are what they should be. I was gonna say my standards are high, but my standards are what they should be. You should not. Fast food is bad in so many ways for so many reasons. But an elder once told me, your food shouldn't make too much noise. When you peel a fruit, you cut a mango, you bite into a star fruit, a carambola, you bite into a vegetable. That's quiet. You just eat it. You know, all the crinkling of the wrappers and split this way to do this like that, and then here's the fork that's in the same thing. Then you just go in there and eat your little fruit cup. All that processing, all that procession is not healthy. It's not good. We shouldn't be going in stores for shit. We should be able to just walk in and take stuff, especially black people, as how we have not been given our due in the way of repatriation or reparations on any continent, in any country. And it might be people that started, but it's not a drop in the bucket. It's not an atom in a drop that could be in a bucket. It is. It's not on the molecular cellular level size. Like it's not. It's incomprehensible. It's incalculable compared to what we're owed, what we're due. Moving on. I don't do fast food, and so when I got the message, I don't do fast food. I don't drink. I don't even smoke really. If I'm taking in herb, it's gonna be a drink. It's gonna be I might eat it or something. And even still, I haven't done that in months, in a long time. Because I only do that when the universe brings it to me in the form of me being able to take it off of somebody's plant. I'm not a customer. I don't know. I don't think that should be a thing that we do either. Um, Medicine is not something that should be bought or sold. That yeah, you shouldn't be able to buy and sell medicine. There should be no monopoly on that. There should be no vice grip on that. Rather, it should just be medicine, um, available for consumption. But yeah, when I got that message, man, I was just like, wow, this is funny because you tell somebody like what are you supposed to if I'm from the inside looking out, what could you expect? I'm English speaking. McDonald's, I believe, started in the States. I stay in the States, which is where McDonald's is massive. And I'm of African descent, which sadly, a lot of African people, American Africans on this here continent, being that price bracket, that tax bracket, that feels like they can't pay the money to take care of themselves. And so they go for the fast food options, which if you think about it and really reason with that and tinker with that, everybody could be spending Trader Joe's money to prevent most, if not all, health defects, health advents, whatever. You know, you're gonna pay it up front or on the back end. It's just a matter of what you want to do. Do you want to spend money on this happy meal for your kid now, or have to go to the doctor in a couple months to find out that little Timmy got hyperactive disorder? You feel me? And you've been dosing that kid with stuff to eat, not food, not nutrients, which is what food needs to be all the time: nutrient rich, nutrient dense. If the stuff that you're putting in your body is not nutrient dense, what the hell are you doing it for? If it is not nutrient dense, what are you doing it for? So I'm saying, back to the thing. I laugh because I'm just like, dang, if you don't talk to me, I can't even say if you don't talk to me. If you don't move around with me for about a week, solid week, you could look at me and assume a lot of things. I've had people walk up to me and ask where the coke's at. And I'm like, yo, I've never touched that in my life. I've seen people use it, of course, because life, but I've never touched it, sold it, bought it, used it, nothing. I don't know what to tell you. you know? Someone walk up to me, what you got some roll up? I don't do that either. Not anymore. And if I did have, what makes you think I would just give it to you? It's my roll up. I probably got it for myself. So again, I was just laughing because I'm like, dang, I really would just fall into a stereotype to somebody from all the way across the world in Asia, Russia, or somewhere, you know? and it just it was really comical to me. Like we about to go to we about to travel soon, go to Europe for the first time, and Empress and I have been just wondering, well, what kind of conversations are we gonna have with the locals? And I'm now just like, how many questions am I gonna get about what my favorite fast food is? Because I hate fast food. I don't do it. I don't do it. I could barely do it. You know, the worst that I'll do, or the most that I'll do it in that direction is maybe like, I don't know, a food truck or a taco place or somewhere that got some vegan, vegetarian options that I can see there. Um, but even still, that's not the preference. The preference is go home and cook, you know? Going back to the Bible, that same book says, eat and drink of your own vineyard. Your own vineyard. That means maybe don't eat from everybody else's hand. You can't do that all the time because you don't know how they're washing their dishes to cook. You don't know if they're washing their hands to cook. And even if you don't wash your hands or wash your dishes properly before you cook, that's all germs. Hold on. Yeah, that's all germs that were bred in your house or fostered, fortified in your house, which means you have a reasonable immunity to those pathogens. You know what I'm saying? There's good germs, there's bad germs, but all of that exists in your own ecosystem that you cultivate all the time, every day, subconsciously without you knowing. So when you go and like, I don't know, there's like a party at work or something, and you go and eat the thing from that. You eat the thing. I just thought of something. You eat the thing from your coworker, and you might get a stomach bug. You might get sick or something. It's because you're eating their germs. Whatever it comes from their house. I was laughing because my man, my sister, my sister used to always be weird about eating from people. And my mom, my dad, and I would just always be like, "Hey, like, why? Why are you so? Why is it such a thing? Like, just eat it." She'd get a cookie. She'd be picking through all the little small little pieces, dissecting it to the point where finger food turns into fork food, and she would eat it. But like, she had found hairs so many times, long hairs bigger than my face, you know, like this, just wrapped up in a cupcake and just not know. But just because she was skeptical, man, because she was skeptical, and I'm feeling like that was some intuition, low key, because it had happened once before, and so because of that, she was just on it. That's how you should be, though, when eating from people. If you don't know the person, if you don't trust the person, if it's just, oh hi, I'm your neighbor, I'm coming with a peace offering. Here's this salad. Hmm. Y'all have no idea how many poisonous, pretty ass flowers exist in the world that could just be put on top of a garden salad, made to look nice and pretty for you to eat, and you come with the runs in a second after eating that. Can't keep anything down, can't have fluids. Antibiotics ain't gonna save you because it wasn't supposed to be eaten. They just picked it from down the street, you know? This cup is goated. I love it. Got it from when I was living in the Grand Canyon. Um, that's a story in itself. Um, but I digress. Yeah, like fast food is fast food has huh, fast food's one of them industries that has our like the world as we know it in a vice grip. Because these companies now, okay, so everybody wants to start a thing, start a company. That's ultimately they're all pyramid schemes because there's more down here than there are up here. More here than there are up here. It's a pyramid. You got one CEO, a couple chairmen, a couple people below them. It goes on. Um, Everybody want their pyramid scheme so they can start their little thing, make their little money, whatever. At this point, everybody made their money. If you know that what you're doing is messed up, if you care about world hunger, if you care about these things, which you don't, which they don't, we know that. But if they care, they could cut the crap and just start shelling out cash. They could cut the crap and do a whole bunch of things, but they don't. And it's just it's comical because it brings a lot of perspective to how people see the West. You know, oh, hi viewer, hi, hey, tiny, tiny heart. um, yeah, it brings a lot of perspective as to how people see us in the West. You know, um, we're laughing stocks. We are a cash cow. We are a place to get money and leave. And I get that. I get that. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying we got to know our place here and where we stand in the world and offer that on the low Libra scale with what we have to offer, what we can do, and what we're not, like where we're falling short in fulfilling that potential, you know? Um, Plain. Yeah. In chemistry, you learn a lot about kinetic and potential energy. Kinetic energy being, when the rubber hits the road, when you start putting energy to something, it's that almost always elicits a chemical reaction, meaning one that can't be reversed. And that's true of kinetic energy situations because once you go forward, you're not where you were. You can go backwards if you want, but you're not the energy is expended regardless, even if you put yourself back in the same place, versus potential energy is resting. You know, say like copper crystals, for example. Um, Crystals are prisms for energy. In the body, in the human body, we have about seven main chakra systems, main energy centers. And I'll go through that in detail later. But there is potential energy in having a crystal or wearing a crystal or working with the crystal, because just because you have it doesn't mean it's going to do what it can do for you. You know, clear quartz, for example, this is what I'm wearing. Clear quartz uh, can work for all of your chakra. It can cleanse and balance all of your chakras. Um, but if you don't cleanse it and charge it, meditate with it and work with it, it's just a pretty rock. You know, when you do these things, however, you set the chemical reaction in motion. When you run it by some water, put it by some running water, you set it outside with the sun as it's rising, you clean it itself with, even if it's like a smoke that you're doing, like a white sage smoke or a blue lotus smoke, a mullein smoke, whatever. Or cleanse it with your mind. Set the intention with your mind. um, these are things that you can do to set the chemical reaction into place, thusly inducing kinetic energy. you know So I guess what I'll leave this off with is, what opportunities do you have in your life to turn potential energy into kinetic energy? Where can you connect those dots to produce a different result? That was a cat knock. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.